Wir sind auf einer wunderbaren Terrasse mitten in Zürich. Dort hinten sieht man die Fahne vom Zürich Filmfestival und das ist der Grund, warum ich da bin mit dem Walter Saxer zu meiner Rechten und dem Sam Pressman. Welcome to Zurich. How are you doing today?
So good. It's a beautiful day and an unbelievably beautiful city. This is my first time here, so I've just been overwhelmed by how gorgeous everything is here. Walter's from Switzerland, so...
Was soll ich sagen auf Schweizerdeutsch? Also
Sie dürfen es auf Schweizerdeutsch oder Hochdeutsch sagen.
Ich bin aus St. Gallen, was
St.
man
Gallen.
wahrscheinlich hört.
Aha.
Und ich bin eingeladen vom Zürich Festival und bin sehr dankbar dafür. Das ist eigentlich das erste Mal, als ich in ein Filmfestival eingeladen worden bin. Obwohl ich kein Freund von Filmfestivals bin,
Sind Sie nicht?
bin ich gekommen, weil einfach die Aussicht auf Appenzeller Käse
What film did you see last night?
und Olma Bratwürst und Schweizer Schokolade haben mich
Sehr
überzeugt, dass ich
Sehr schön.
zugesagt habe.
You are both here to talk about the movie Reconquest of the Useless. You describe it as a movie about a movie. Can you describe the concept or what is the movie about the movie about?
So it's a movie that's sort of a pilgrimage to Werner Herzog's film Fitzcarraldo, which was made in 1981 for 5 years in the Amazon jungle about a man who dreamt of bringing the opera to the jungle.
An opera in the jungle.
Yes.
All right.
And the absurd act that he has to complete in order to bring the opera to the jungle is to pull a 300-ton boat over a mountain in order to claim virgin rubber trees.
Uh-huh.
And so it's really the shirt I'm wearing, The Burden of Dreams, is a documentary made by Les Blank, which is about the making of Fitzcarraldo. And there's no more harrowing and Sisyphusian challenge of a film than Fitzcarraldo. And on our journey, we retraced the path of the film, all of the locations where it was filmed, all of the rivers where the film was made. And we had no idea whether we would find anything. Before we went, I had a friendship with Werner Herzog because I worked on The Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. And Werner said to us before we went, "You will find nothing. The jungle will have consumed all memory of me." And that was absolutely not true because we met these amazing characters, most importantly Walter Saxer, right here, who produced more than 15 Werner Herzog productions, and who was living in Iquitos, Peru when we arrived.
So Werner Herzog wasn't very positive about your idea to go there and find traces of the movie. Why did you stay positive, or where does your excitement come from about Werner Herzog and Fitzcarraldo?
Well, I think it was a partnership with my two best friends from university, and to us it was about taking the adventure of a lifetime.
So you traveled as a group of three, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. It was all about our trio, and I think we always, we fought. We get in a fight. I broke my best friend's nose.
Yeah.
But we love each other, and
so
at the end of the day, it's about, working as a team and accomplishing your dreams together.
Yeah. So your movie is based on Werner Herzog's movie. Do I have to see Fitzcarraldo before I even understand
No,
Reconquest?
I think our film very much stands on its own. If you've never seen the film Fitzcarraldo, I would hope you see Reconquest of the Useless and then see Fitzcarraldo and Aguirre, The Wrath of God, and Burden of Dreams. And in a way, I hope that our film can invite a new generation to appreciate this insane master that is Werner Herzog.
So you in the movie there are a lot of parallels, or you show a lot of parallels between you three, the group of three, and also the connection between Kinski, the actor of Fitzcarraldo, and, for example, Mr. Saxer. how do you see these parallels? Did you really feel them, or did you kind of invent them?
That's a great
Are
question.
they like natural? Were they there naturally, or did you kind of search?
A
did
lot
you
of
search for
it.
them?
A lot of it was found in editing. A lot of it we spent 3 years editing the film. Part of that was challenging because we were 3 partners, so naturally a group mind will always contradict itself. But I think cinema lives in our collective consciousness, and we all have so many shared memories and imaginations because of the language of film. And my parents met on a movie, Oliver Stone's first film,
Okay.
The Hand, and you know.
So the reason why you exist and this movie exists is a movie again.
Yes.
So there the circle's close.
And so to me, we live in a world of cinematic dreams, and Sergei Eisenstein said, you know, this idea of the cinematropolis, that we came as Bedouins to a desert without streets and without buildings, and someday this will be this glittering, shining world, and now we live in it. So I think to go to a place like the Amazon, which is as far and as extreme and outside on the edge of the world as we could imagine, and to try to commune with a film that we loved was what it's all about, and I hope.
In the movie, you tried as well. You tried to bring movies or the idea of cinema to the local people. You tried to show them the movie Fitzgeraldo, but they weren't really interested. How does that fit into this concept of cinematic dreams that everyone is having?
Well, I think that it's very personal why you care for a film, why you connect to a film. And we brought these little Pico projectors that were the size of an iPhone, and we would project them on bed sheets, and you know, wherever we went, we tried to show films. And we didn't just bring Herzog films, we brought animated films, we brought these Netzilic Canadian documentaries about like natives around the world.
Okay.
That have no language. And you know, people loved movies. People down in the Amazon, they watch Harry Potter. They wear Beyonce and Britney Spears shirts.
They're
and it's
familiar with pop culture. Yeah.
And it's almost a little bit terrifying that you go to this place that you think is completely different, and they still respond pretty much to some of the same cultural icons. So we're more connected than ever, and we had a great time sharing the films. But yeah, in the very town where they made Fitzcarraldo, where Walter lived for like 3 years to pull the boat over the mountain, we show the film there, and no one
knew?
cares.
Okay.
And it's just it's a sign that we all connect to film in very different ways.
So like bringing this movie back to where it was shot was kind of impossible for you, or it didn't really succeed. But for me, that's also the story behind Fitzgerald. It's about trying the impossible, isn't it? And so Saxer, you once said that the word impossible, you didn't want to hear the word "it's impossible." It's impossible to bring the ship over this hill, or to bring the opera to the jungle. Was the word impossible really not something that you wanted to hear?
Well, we're talking about the impossible. That was on the first film I did in Peru. That was Aguirre, which was also a very, very difficult thing, because it was back in 1971, 1972. And to shoot the film, a German production, with a very limited budget of $200,000 US dollars, to come and shoot a period picture in Peru with Klaus Kinski, this was a thing of virtually impossible. And of course, you had to put together a crew of really people who really wanted to do this film. And this is at the time it was difficult, but we could get these people together. Nowadays it would be practically impossible to we didn't have any hotels. We were living on rafts, going down the river in search of the the insertive that's coming up, and to do something like that. To prepare something like that, you needed to convince people, Peruvians, to think the same way you were thinking, and that's why it was very clear that I had to convince Cesar Vivanco that nothing is impossible.
All right.
And in filmmaking, you have to have that attitude.
You have to have that attitude.
Yes, of
Nothing
course.
is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. Werner Herzog, director of Fitzgerald, we talked about it. He wasn't really happy about your ideas, and in the movie, at one point, he wrote you an email that was not very positive, to say. Question for you, Mr. Saxer. You're like two different generations. How do you see their attempt to find traces of the Fitzgerald movie?
Well, it was a way to get to know the country, I think, because it's much better than to visit Peru as a tourist, but go and do some work and go and dive into it, which is it's a very different thing of getting to know a country.
And that's really how the movie feels like. It's like jumping into a stream of pictures of emotions, all somehow linked to Fitzgerald. That's how I felt when I saw it.
Yeah, it's a different way of getting to know a country, and it's much more interesting this way.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to hear how you see the film. That's what we dreamed, to make it immediate and experiential, and like you're on a trip.
Yeah, I'm grateful that you were both here for the interview. I wish you a great time at the Zurich Film Festival, and enjoy the scenery here.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.